See the
Bosses demand urgent action on IR reform, providing a wish list including unfair dismissal changes.
Chinese spy ship expected to monitor Australian war games off the Queensland coast.
The US warns Iran off more serious sanctions after Tehran threatens to exceed nuclear deal cap.
Later in sport, injury concerns for the Aussies. Usman Khawaja ruled out of the rest of the World Cup.
Live with Kieran Gilbert and Annalise Nielsen in Canberra. This is AM Agenda.
9 o'clock in Canberra. Good morning. Thanks for your company on AM Agenda this Monday.
Our top story this morning, employers are demanding urgent industrial relations reform, delivering a wish list of changes to the government.
Christian Porter's considering changes to IR laws, but the Prime Minister says bosses must build support for any changes. Let's go live to our political reporter James O'Doherty. And James, for a number of years this has been taboo, even for the coalition, of course, in the aftermath of work choices and the debacle around that. But it looks like there might be just the very early signs of some momentum in this space.
Well, the Prime Minister says that he is open and looking at changes to industrial relations laws, Kieran and Annalise, but he is making the point that any changes need to have the support of the Australian people, and the government won't be seeking that support. It's up to business to make the case for any changes. Now, the Australian Industry Group is trying to do just that, writing in the Australian today a 6-point wish list for what they want to change in the industrial relations space. Among their demands, they want the Ensuring Integrity Bill passed in the Parliament to crack down on militant trade unionists. They want the definition of a casual employee outlined in the FWA to ensure that casual employees are treated as such. They want changes to enterprise agreements, and workers' entitlements funds should have more transparency. Ultimately, they also want to review unfair dismissal laws, and this is the most contentious element of any industrial relation. There is still a long way to go on this, despite many in the coalition backbench wanting urgent action on religious freedom.
James, we will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for that. A Chinese spy ship is making its way towards northern Australia as a joint US military training operation gets underway.
We'll go live now to Anna Rawlings. Anna, these war games are becoming very realistic.
That's right, Annalise. This was a training exercise about the arrival of this Chinese surveillance ship. Well, that's very real. The Australian Defence Force has confirmed it is tracking this ship at the moment. It's last been seen off Papua New Guinea. It's understood to be making its way towards Australia with an interest in ship.
We're tracking it. We don't know yet what its destination is, but we're assuming that it will come down to the east coast of Queensland, and we'll take appropriate measures in regards to that. It is international waters. They have the right to sail there.
Now, this follows
Thanks so much for that. Chinese officials interrogating an Australian writer detained in Beijing have also stopped his wife from leaving the country. Yen Zhaoliong is married to former Chinese government official turned author Yang.
Incidents like this happening. Annalise, Kieran.
Christy, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Coming up after the break, we're joined by the former Liberal Senator Jim Molan. Welcome back to the program. A coronial inquest will begin today into a spate of suspected drug-related deaths at music festivals in New South Wales.
Caroline Marcus joins us now. Caroline, what can we expect out of these hearings?
Well, the hearings will go over a 2-week period, Annalise, and they will scrutinise the deaths of 6 young people, mainly from music festivals over the past summer.
General Molan, thanks so much. Great to see you. And we might be able to arrange a spot with...
Absolutely.
He's one of our colleagues now, so thanks so much. Talk to you soon. A quick break. Back in just a moment with some of the sport, including Elise Perry guides the Southern Stars to another win.
The top stories: employers are calling for industrial relations reform, delivering a wish list to the government, including unfair dismissal changes. A Chinese spy ship has set off for Queensland's coast where it's expected to monitor Australian war games. America's threatened to impose further sanctions on Iran after Tehran announced it will increase its uranium enrichment well beyond its allowed limit.
Let's turn our attention now to a renewed push from the business community led by the Australian Industry Group. In the Australian newspaper today, 6 key points they want dealt with by policymakers. First, ensuring the integrity bill is passed. That's the union reform bill. Second, the uncertainty and cost risks relating to casual employees needs to be clarified. Third, the Better Off Overall test for employees needs to be reformed. Fourth, workers' entitlements in industry funds require better protection. Fifth, unfair dismissal laws need to be reviewed. And sixth, enterprise agreements applying to major projects should be allowed to cover the life of a project's construction. Let's go live to Stephen Smith. He's the Head of Industrial Relations at the AI Group. Stephen, the Prime Minister's been saying the business community needs to step up in arguments around IR. Is this what you're doing today?
Yes, certainly. What we're not doing is calling for...
Now it's time for your Fox Sports Update with Kath Lochnan.
Thanks, team. Elise Perry has taken the best ever ODI bowling figures by an Australian woman to dismantle England in the third one day of the Women's Ashes. The Aussie all-rounder took an incredible 7 and holds no fear against the hosts.
Both teams will be battle-hardened. They'll be ready. We've both had really good lead-ups. We ended up second, they ended up third on the table.
Yeah, how exciting. Both the Cricket World Cup semi-finals coming up this week on Fox Cricket, of course. The Aussies in action against England on Thursday in the second semi. Should be a cracker.
And we've got a great history at Edgbaston as well. I'm old enough to remember that 1999 semi against South Africa. And I was reminding an English mate of mine yesterday about that lovely bit of history. So hopefully for every English person watching, I look forward to absolutely flogging you this Thursday. Thanks, Kath. Talk to you soon. A quick break. Back in just a moment with the Chinese warship heading down under to monitor Australian war games.
Australian businesses campaign for IR reform, handing the government a wish list of changes.
A Chinese spy ship approaches Australia as the ADF prepares for war games with the US.
A leaked British memo describes US President Donald Trump as inept and insecure.
Later in sport, injury concerns for the Aussies ahead of the World Cup semi-finals. Usman Khawaja ruled out.
Live with Kieran Gilbert and Annalise Nielsen in Canberra. This is AM Agenda.
10 o'clock in Canberra, good morning. Welcome back to the program.
Our top story this morning, employers are demanding urgent industrial relations